All he wanted was to live peacefully with his family.
Hey.
But the gangsters brutally killed his wife and son, thinking what a weak-looking person like him can do. Their arrogance ignited feeling of revenge in his heart, so he destroyed each and every one of them on that particular day. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me.
Oh, shit, man!
The story kicks off in Mosul, Afghanistan, where a group of U.S. Marines, led by Jake Atherton and under the command of Colonel Tom Mason, are patrolling a small village. They catch a local guy trying to hide IEDs in the ground. When they confront him, the guy reaches for a weapon, so they take him out. Mason tells Jake to back out with the team, but Jake, being the stubborn hero he is, decides to defuse the bombs himself. While he's doing that, chaos breaks loose and the Marines get ambushed. Most of them are wiped out. Only Jake and Tom survive the firefight, and just when things look really bad, a chopper swoops in and gets them out. Fast forward 8 years, Jake is out of the service and working at a local garage owned by his Uncle Earl, who has a sketchy past with gangs. After a rough shift, Jake heads home to his wife Ashley and their son Weston. They're barely scraping by, and Ashley's worried about overdue bills. Jake tries to stay hopeful, even though it's obvious he's struggling. That night, Weston asks his dad about his army days and whether he still talks to Mason. Jake dodges the tough questions and puts the kid to bed. The next day at the garage, some gangsters roll up and make trouble. They're trying to pressure Earl into paying protection money. Jake tries to keep it cool, but when things get heated, he grabs a wrench and wrecks them. One guy backs off but promises he'll be back. Jake warns Earl, but Earl, being proud and stubborn, says he won't let anyone push him out of his place. Jake tells Ashley about the whole mess, and she's obviously freaked out. She says he should have called the cops. Later, Jake returns home and sees that same thug from earlier driving off, laughing. When he runs inside, he finds the worst. Ashley and Weston have been murdered. Jake breaks down, completely shattered. When the police show up, Jake can't even talk. He just gets in his car and drives off, heartbroken and filled with rage. Eventually, he spots the thug's car outside a bar. He storms in, guns blazing, and takes down everyone. When he comes face to face with the man who destroyed his life, the guy tries to lecture him. Jake shuts him up with a bullet to the head. Jake gets arrested and sentenced. 5 months into his sentence, he's still haunted by the memories of that awful day. Then one day, Tom comes to visit. He wants to help reopen Jake's case, but Jake's convinced he belongs behind bars. Tom tells him healing takes time, but Jake isn't having it. Soon after, a mysterious guy shows up and tells Jake he doesn't belong in prison. Turns out, he's part of a secret group led by a man named Ramsey. Jake doesn't bite at first, but that night, masked men drug him and take him to a rooftop. Ramsey explains they're not CIA, they're private and work off the grid. He says he's been watching Jake and knows about his military skills and PTSD. He offers Jake a deal, join his team and start over. After thinking it through, Jake agrees. An agent named Lisa Meller brings Jake to a high-security building where Ramsey officially welcomes him to Section 8. Jake is still wary and even swipes a pen, just in case he needs to defend himself. Ramsey explains that his team works with top-level agencies to eliminate global threats. He assigns Lisa to keep an eye on Jake and gives him a new place to live, a car, and a bank account. Real smooth. To see what Jake's made of, they throw him into a sparring match with a tough guy named Ajax. Jake refuses to fight, but Ajax pushes him until Jake finally snaps and nearly blinds him with a pen. Even though he holds back at the last second, it's clear Jake can hold his own. For his first real mission, Jake is told to take out Alejandro Castillo, a corrupt defense contractor selling weapons to the Russians. The trade is going down in Mexico, and Jake's job is to kill everyone involved. He and Lisa scout the scene. Once the deal starts, Jake picks off a lookout, sparking chaos among the armed men. With bullets flying, Jake takes advantage of the mess, charges in, and eliminates everyone except Castillo. When Castillo refuses to give up the blueprints, Jake shoots him and takes them anyway, sparing the women in the room. Back at base, Ramsey flips out that Jake let the women live. He warns Jake to take the job seriously or he's going back to prison. But Jake stands his ground. Ajax watches all this and tells Ramsey he's not sure Jake's got what it takes. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a hitman named Locke infiltrates a casino. He takes out guards and heads to a suite where his target is relaxing with women. The guy offers him cash to walk away, but Locke just shoots him. Then he fights his way out of the casino and escapes in his stolen car. Back in his new apartment, Jake sees a photo of his old squad on the wall. Memories hit him hard. In a flashback, we see Tom telling him after the mission that he might lose a foot, but also reminding Jake not to blame himself. Later, Jake sits alone in a bar when Lisa joins him. He asks her about Ramsey, but she doesn't know much. Instead, she shares her own military past and how she got discharged for punching a superior. This moment brings them closer, showing that maybe, just maybe, Jake isn't as alone as he feels. The next day, Ramsey gathers his crew to drop their latest mission on them. Their new target? None other than U.S. Senator Jim Graham. Ramsey wants him to dig up some digital files and also take the senator out. So, the following day, Jake and his crew roll up to the senator's ranch disguised in a cleaning van while the senator's busy giving a speech. Mueller sneaks into the estate, takes out a couple of guards, and snags the data from the senator's computer. Security quickly realizes something's up and rushes the senator into a pickup truck. The team notices too late, but Jake doesn't hesitate. He jumps into pursuit. He takes a risky shortcut, cuts off the senator's vehicle, and takes out the guards. When he points his gun at the senator, the guy begs for his life, mentioning his wife and kids. Jake hesitates, but Ajax, who's also on the mission, shoots the senator anyway. This shakes Jake up pretty badly. That night, he drinks alone, staring at a photo of Ashley. Suddenly, he senses something, and within seconds, assassins storm into his place. Jake narrowly escapes. He heads over to see Tom to dig up some info on Section 8. Tom explains that the group was disbanded back in the 90s and was made up of outcasts and disavowed agents. Jake asks about Ramsey, and Tom says he'll check around. Jake also asks for a gun and some cash, which Tom agrees to. Later, Jake hides out and calls Ramsey. Ramsey tells him to stop running and insists he should have just killed the senator without a second thought. Ramsey doesn't trust Mueller to bring Jake in and instead assigns Locke to hunt him down. Locke receives the order. Jake is now the next target. Jake returns to California, staying low. There, he meets a kid named Landon, who turns out to be an old friend of Weston's. Landon says everyone's glad Jake killed the bad guys and adds that he saw the man responsible for killing his family hanging around some shady suits before it all went down. Meanwhile, Locke has tracked Jake and is watching him from across the street. Then out of nowhere, Locke starts shooting. Jake pushes Landon out of harm's way and runs. Locke switches guns and keeps firing. Jake ducks into a building to escape. Cops show up and try to stop Locke, but he guns him down too. Later, Locke calls Ramsey to say Jake got away, which makes Ramsey question if Locke's really as good as he claims. Locke swears he'll get the job done. Jake later visits Earl, thanking him for always having his back. When Jake spots movement outside, he tells Earl to grab a gun. Suddenly, Ajax, Mueller, and the rest of the crew storm into the garage. Earl shoots one, while Jake fights Bruner and eventually kills him. Ajax starts shooting, and the two exchange fire until Jake runs out of bullets. Ajax wants to brawl, so he tosses his gun and challenges Jake. They go at it, throwing punches and wrecking the place. Ajax almost wins, but when he tries to grab a knife, Mueller shoots him dead. Earl tosses Jake the car keys, and he and Mueller take off. On the way, Mueller reveals she's done with Section 8 and wants out. She's hoping Jake will help her. Though he's still wary, Jake agrees, and they head to Montana to track down Ramsey. But when they get there, things go south. Mueller ends up betraying Jake, and he finds himself locked in an office. Turns out Tom is working with Ramsey too. They plan to take out Jake's family just to manipulate him into becoming a killer for their cause. The two leave Jake to figure out what to do with him, planning to kill him. Tom excuses himself and later shows up in Jake's room, revealing he's been trying to bring down Section 8 from within. Now that everyone's in one place, it's go time. They sound the alarm, attack the guards, and grab weapons. Jake and Tom take down anyone who tries to stop them. Ramsey and Mueller flee. Ramsey tries to bribe Jake with $3 million to let him go, but Jake isn't buying it. As Mueller tries to switch sides again, Tom shoots her but ends up hurting himself. Ramsey tries to grab the money, but Jake shoots, forcing him to run. Jake holds Tom as he dies. Then Mueller returns, trying one last time to kill Jake, but her gun's empty. She charges at him with a knife, but Jake turns the tables and kills her. Ramsey bolts in a truck, and Jake hotwires a car and chases him. They trade shots until Ramsey crashes. Jake walks up, gun ready, and Ramsey mocks him for always hesitating. This time, Jake doesn't. He shoots him dead. Later, Jake meets up with the U.S. Attorney General, who thanks him for taking out Section 8 and stopping Ramsey. He even offers Jake a spot as an operative. Jake doesn't give a clear answer. Back at his apartment, Jake finds Locke waiting. Jake tells him it's over. Ramsey's dead. But Locke says his job's not done. The two fight, and Locke gets the upper hand, tossing Jake around the room. They both pull out knives and slash at each other until they drop the weapons and continue throwing fists. Just when it seems like Locke will win, Jake finds his gun under the couch and shoots Locke dead. A few days pass. Earl gets a message from Jake, who apologizes for leaving without a proper goodbye and thanks him once again. Jake's on a bus, leaving town. He calls the Attorney General and simply says, "I'm here." The reply, "Welcome to Section 9.